What if I told you that walking just 7,000 steps a day can lower your risk of early death by nearly 50%? Now, according to a massive global review led by the University of Sydney and published in the Lancet Public Health, that number is now backed by science, not myth. For years, we've been told to aim for 10,000 steps a day, but that target actually started as a marketing campaign, not a health standard. Now, after analyzing data from 57 studies across 10 countries, researchers have found that 7,000 steps per day delivers almost the same benefit as 10,000, including a 47% reduced risk of early death, a 38% lower risk of dementia, a measurable drop in depression, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. And here's the best part. Even moving from 2,000 steps a day to 4,000 per day brought big improvements. Okay? In today's episode, we're going to break down the game-changing research that proves you don't need 10,000 steps a day to transform your health. You'll discover why 7,000 steps might be the most powerful and realistic goal you've ever set, and how to make every single step feel effortless and natural in your daily routine. Now, here's what's coming up. You're going to crush the roadblocks, how to overcome the most common barriers that keep people from hitting 7,000 steps, the science made simple, a clear breakdown of the new study's surprising findings, the importance of knowing daily step count, and I'll have a personal story for that. Small steps, big impact. I'll give you 6 reasons why breaking your daily steps into shorter walks, such as 3 20-minute walks, can be just as powerful, if not more so, than doing them all at once. The long game, the unique benefits of racking up over 7,000 steps in a single longer walk, and how it boosts your circulation, stamina, and overall well-being. Every step counts. What the research reveals about the benefits of walking just 2,000 to 4,000 steps a day and why it's still worth celebrating. And lastly, your walking success plan, how my proven program can help you start from scratch or take your walking fitness to the next level. Also, I've got something special for you, a free Walking Works Blueprint giveaway designed to help you squeeze every drop of benefit out of your walking time. Plus, I'm throwing in an upbeat music track to put some serious pep in your step and keep you moving with energy and purpose. This is Frank. Let's begin.
Caution, the information contained in this podcast may cause you to feel better than you have ever felt in your entire life. Symptoms include a broader smile, happier disposition, brighter outlook on life, and a general feeling of bliss. Proceed with wild abandon. Hello, I'm Frank Ring, the author of the Amazon bestseller, Walking for Health and Fitness, the easiest way to get in shape and stay in shape. Join me each episode as I discuss the physical and emotional benefits of walking, along with information about fitness, mindset, nutrition, wellness, and more. So join me each week as I encourage you to walk on.
Do you think walking 7,000 steps a day is enough to make a difference in your health? Well, it may cut your risk of early death by 47%. Now, here's the shocking truth. You don't need 10,000 steps. Before we begin this, drop me a note in the comments. What is your average step count right now? And what's preventing you from walking more every day? Well, here's the big news that's been making waves in the walking world. A massive new study led by Professor Melody Ding from the University of Sydney just dropped in the Lancet Public Health in July of 2025. This wasn't a small experiment either. They pulled together data from 57 studies across 10 different countries looking at how daily step count impacts our health. That's a huge sample size, thousands and thousands of people from all walks of life. And what they found could completely change the way you think about walking. Because according to this research, 7,000 steps a day might be the science-backed sweet spot for better health, longer life, and a stronger body, without the pressure of chasing that 10,000 step myth. Now, I'm going to unpack exactly what they discovered, why it matters, and how you can use it to create a walking habit that actually sticks. Before we dive into the benefits of the 7,000 steps, let's clear up one of the biggest myths in the walking world. Now, you've probably heard of the 10,000 step rule. It's been drilled into us for decades as the magic number for good health. But here's the truth. It wasn't based on medical evidence at all. It actually came from a 1965 pedometer and ad campaign in Japan.
That's right, marketing, not science. Now, don't get me wrong, 10,000 steps is great if you enjoy longer walks or have the time for it. But for a lot of people, it's an intimidating number. I've heard so many people say, well, if I can't hit 10,000 steps, why bother? And that's a real shame because it keeps folks from starting at all. Now, for context, 10,000 steps works out to about 5.2 miles. And for someone just getting into walking, that can feel like a marathon. Now, when I first started my blog on the Walking for Health and Fitness website, I even wrote about the 10,000 step mark. But after this podcast, I'm going to be going back to update that post because the new research changes everything. Let's first discuss roadblocks to walking. Even when we know walking is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to improve our health, life has a way of getting in the way. For many people, it's not a lack of ability that holds them back, it's the obstacles in their mind and routine. Some of these barriers are obvious, like a packed schedule or unpredictable weather. Others are more subtle but just as powerful, like the belief that short walks don't matter or the tendency to give up if we can't do things perfectly. The good news? These challenges, they aren't roadblocks. They're just bumps in the path. Once you recognize them for what they are, you can create strategies to step over them and keep moving forward. Now, let's look at 3 of the most common barriers and how to overcome them so you can reach your walking goals with confidence. Number 1, perfectionism. Many people set overly ambitious fitness goals like hitting 10,000 steps every single day and then feel like they failed when they fall short. This all or nothing mindset often leads to quitting entirely instead of adjusting expectations. Perfectionism also makes people afraid to start unless the conditions are ideal. That's perfect weather, lots of free time, the right shoes, the right clothing, etc. In reality, consistent, good enough effort beats sporadic perfection. The new research shows that 7,000 steps is enough to help perfectionists shift towards progress over perfection. Number 2, the lack of time. Modern schedules are packed, work, family, commuting, and exercise often gets pushed to when I have time, which usually means never. Many think they need a full hour of walking for it to be worth it, but this barrier disappears when you understand that short, frequent walks add up. Just 3 10 to 15 minute walks, plus what you naturally walk throughout the course of the day can get you to 7,000 steps without blocking off a large chunk of the day. Reframing walking as built-in movement rather than as a separate appointment can help overcome this obstacle. And number 3, thinking small amounts of walking don't count. Some people dismiss quick walks, like parking further away or taking the stairs, because they believe only long, sweaty workouts matter. This misconception robs them of easy opportunities to accumulate steps. The new step count research proves that every step counts towards better health. Even small increases, like going from 2,000 to 4,000 steps a day, bring measurable benefits. Recognizing the value of micro walks helps people start moving more without feeling like they need to overhaul their day. So go back and listen to podcast episode 23 I did about NEAT, that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is about the hidden fat-burning force that's working all around you all day long. Even when you're just folding laundry, walking to the mailbox, taking that extra walk from the furthest parking spot, or standing while you're reading your emails. Now, let's get to what this massive new study actually found, because the numbers are eye-opening. Researchers from the University of Sydney pulled together data from 57 studies across 10 countries. They looked at everything from cardiovascular disease to dementia, depression, and overall mortality. What they were trying to figure out was, at what point do we start seeing real measurable health benefits from daily walking? Here's the headline. 7,000 steps a day may be the sweet spot for most people. Now, here's what they found when they compared walking 7,000 steps a day to those walking only 2,000 steps. A 47% lower risk of early death. That's almost cutting your risk in half just by adding more movement to your day. A 38% lower risk of developing dementia. This is huge. Walking doesn't just keep your body strong, it keeps your mind sharp. And significant drops in depression and cardiovascular disease. We're talking better mood, less anxiety, and a healthier heart without the need for extreme workouts. The best part? These benefits were almost identical to what people saw at 10,000 steps a day. So you're not missing out on much by aiming for 7,000. And for most people, that's a much more achievable goal. Now, we'll get into how you can actually fit those steps into your life in a few minutes. But first, I want to talk about how you take those steps, whether they're small bursts or longer walks, can make a difference. So why keeping track of your steps is vital. Now, I went over my walking stats as I've increased my walking steps in recent weeks due to my prostate cancer diagnosis. I talked about this in episode 24 of the Walking for Health and Fitness podcast. In fact, after that episode, I was still feeling out of step with my workouts. I procrastinated and used the excuse of the hot summer weather for not walking as much or lifting weights as I had talked about in episode 24. But the side effect of the ADT, that's the androgen deprivation therapy that I'm currently under, kicked in big time. I had a significant increase in my weight, and my midsection belly added fat, which I never had an issue with. So I made it my priority to get back on track and do my daily walks. What I found when I looked at the stats was I average around 2,200 steps per mile, and I'm a 16:30 to 17-minute a mile walker. Okay, not really that fast. When I walk, I listen to podcasts, I listen to YouTube videos, or I watch YouTube videos, I listen to music, and I listen to audiobooks. And a lot of times I dictate notes when an idea comes to me that slows down my walking. Now, between slowing down to find a new video or dictate a note, I'm not the fastest walker, but I can walk far. I use my walking time as my happy place, where I can learn and grow personally and professionally. Now, remember from last episode, episode 26, where Dr. Loretta Bruning, Habits of a Healthy Brain, talked about pairing walking with something you enjoy so that you get the greatest benefits from it. So for me, to hit 7,000 steps would roughly take 56 minutes, okay? Also, I'm a huge proponent of adding bodyweight exercises to a walking routine, so I've gone back to adding sets of push-ups during my walks. Now, I write about this in my book, Fitness, Walking, and Bodyweight Exercises. I'll leave a link in the description for you to check out that book and the bonus content that comes with it. So think about this. If you did 20 minutes first thing in the morning, then another 20 at lunchtime, and a final 20 after dinner, that's 60 minutes of walking that you put in that's over the 7,000 step threshold, okay? Then you can also factor in the number of steps you take just living your life, and that can easily add up to 1,000 to 1,500 or more. So, breaking a 60-minute walk into 3 20-minute sections can give you many unique benefits compared to doing it all at once, especially if your goal is longevity, control blood sugar, and energy throughout the day. Now, here's how they stack up, and this is small steps have big impact. And now let me go over 6 benefits of 3 20-minute walks versus a 60-minute walk, and we'll get into the benefits of a longer walk later. So number 1, better blood sugar and insulin control. Research shows that post-meal walking, even 10 to 15 minutes, can significantly reduce blood sugar spikes. If you walk after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you help your body manage glucose 3 separate times instead of just once, which can lower overall insulin demand. Number 2, more frequent metabolism boosts. Walking raises your calorie burn rate while you're moving. Doing it 3 times means you've revved up your metabolism multiple times a day instead of just one spike. This can support weight management, especially if you have a sedentary job. And number 3, reduce sedentary time. Sitting for long stretches is linked to higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, and premature death, even if you exercise daily. There have been some studies that linked sitting to being as dangerous as smoking. 3 shorter walks break up sedentary time and keep your circulation, joints, and muscles active throughout the day. Number 4, consistent mood and energy. Walking boosts endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and those are the feel-good chemicals of your brain. I went over that last episode with Dr. Bruning. By spreading walkings across the day, you get 3 mental resets instead of 1, which can help with focus, productivity, and stretch management. Number 5, easier on joints and recovery. Shorter sessions are less fatiguing and reduce the risk of overuse aches, especially for beginners or those with joint concerns. You recover faster between walks and can keep up consistency. Number 6, higher likelihood of consistency. 3 20-minute walks can feel less daunting to fit into your busy schedule than blocking out a full hour. They can be paired with existing routines, walking after breakfast, walking after a lunch break, walking after dinner. Okay, it makes it so much easier to be consistent. So let's compare that and talk about the long game. The those are the times when a continuous 60-minute walk is actually the better choice. Okay, so everything has its benefits. Now, there are a few situations where going the distance in one go really shines. Okay, if you're training for endurance or you want to hit that a meditative flow state where your mind just drifts and the walk becomes almost effortless. Okay, if you have only one window in your day to exercise and you want to make the most of it, or if you're aiming for long distance events like charity walks, hiking trips, or races. And here's the bonus most people don't think about. Walking longer distances, anything over 45 to 60 minutes in one session, has a powerful benefit on your leg circulation. When you keep moving that long, your calf and thigh muscles act like a second heart, pumping blood back towards your body. That steady rhythm keeps oxygen and nutrients flowing, helps prevent blood pooling, and can even grow tiny new blood vessels over time, making future walks feel easier. Plus, if you deal with tired legs or cold feet, a longer walk can make a real difference. So here's my challenge to you. Try adding one longer walk to your week and see how your body responds.
So we must be on the same wavelength if you've listened this long. So I invite you to check out my simple proven plan to build up to those longer walks while still hitting that sweet spot of 7,000 step goal. Grab my free Walking Works blueprint and music track giveaway. Inside, you'll get strategies, tips, and practical guide I use on my own clients to make walking feel easier, more enjoyable, and more consistent. Just head over to walkingforhealthandfitness.com/WalkingWorks book giveaway. Also, inside this giveaway, you'll find a great discount code for my complete Walking Works program. Let's work together to make those steps count.
Now, here are just a few of the great benefits you get when you build up to longer walks, as I mentioned. Number one, stronger muscle pump action, okay? The muscles in your calves, thighs, and glutes act like a second heart for your lower body. Every time they contract during walking, they squeeze the veins in your legs, pushing blood back towards your heart against gravity. Longer walks mean more sustained pumping, which can help prevent blood pooling in the legs. Number two, increased capillary density. With regular long-distance walking, your body can actually grow more tiny blood vessels, capillaries in your leg muscles. More capillaries equals better oxygen delivery, better nutrient supply, and more efficient removal of waste products like lactic acid. This supports endurance and keeps your legs feeling fresher during activity. Number three, improved arterial function. Prolonged walking encourages vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels, through the release of nitric oxide. This lowers resistance in the arteries, allowing blood to flow more freely and reduce strain on the heart. And number four, venous return and varicose vein prevention. Consistent longer walking sessions helps maintain healthy venous valves, that's tiny one-way gates inside your veins that keep blood moving upward. This can reduce the risk of chronic venous insufficiency and slower prevent the development of varicose veins. Number five, reduce risk of peripheral artery disease, PAD. PAD is caused by narrowing of the arteries, reducing blood flow in the legs. Long walks stimulate the formation of collateral circulation, alternate pathways for blood flow, helping keep leg tissues healthy and oxygenated. Number six, better leg warmth and comfort. People who struggle with cold feet or poor circulation often notice warmer legs and toes after long walks due to sustained blood flow. This is particularly helpful in cooler weather or for individuals with mild circulation challenges. So here's how long distance walking differs from shorter sessions, okay? Short walks improve circulation temporarily, but the effect fades quickly after you stop moving. Longer walks keep your vascular system engaged for an extended time, training it to function more efficiently and adapt to higher blood flow demands. So here's a great tip for you. If you want the leg circulation benefits of long walks without spending 90 minutes a day walking that long, include one or two longer distance walks each week as part of your routine. This mixes the metabolic and mood benefits of shorter walks with the vascular conditioning of longer sessions. I talk more about the benefits of long walks on the benefits on leg circulation in podcast episode number 20, so go back and check that out. So here, this is key, and I want you to remember this. Every step counts. The 7,000 step study had some other remarkable insights. Even 2,000 to 4,000 steps a day improves heart health, mood, and blood sugar. A quote from the study's author, Professor Melody Ding, is this: even small increases in step count lead to significant health gains. Okay. Remember, most benefits plateau at around 7,000 to 8,000 steps, especially in older adults. This proves that progress beats perfection. If 10,000 steps feels out of reach, don't worry. The benefits of walking more than you are now are real, measurable, and they're immediate. So here is the key takeaway from this episode. 7,000 steps is enough. It's not barely enough, it's powerfully enough. The study's co-author, Dr. Catherine Owens, said, beyond 7,000 steps, the extra benefits were modest. Translation: 7,000 steps is no longer the backup goal, it's the new gold standard for longevity, brain health, and fitness. Here's the takeaway. You don't have to think of 7,000 steps as good enough if you can't hit 10,000 step target. Forget that old mindset. 7,000 steps is no longer the backup goal. It's the new gold standard when it comes to living longer, keeping your brain sharp, and protecting your heart. Think about it this way. You're not settling for less, you're aiming for the sweet spot. You're doing what the research says gives you the maximum bang for your buck without burning out or feeling like you have to dedicate half your day to walking. And this is vitally important. 7,000 steps is realistic for most people. It's something that you can actually stick to, not just for a week or a month, but for years. We covered this in the Small Steps, Big Impact section of this episode. This isn't about lowering the bar, it's about setting the bar exactly where it needs to be for the biggest health benefit payoff. And once you make 7,000 steps a habit, you'll find it not only doable, it's energizing, mood boosting, and confidence building. So again, here's the big takeaway from the Lancet study. For adults under 60, the health benefits plateau around 8,000 to 10,000 steps per day. But for older adults, the plateau occurs at just 6,000 to 8,000 steps. That means for most people, 7,000 steps is sufficient, sustainable, and scientifically proven. So this isn't just theory. You don't need 10,000 steps to get the benefits of walking. 7,000 steps is backed by the most up-to-date science. It improves longevity, lowers disease risk, and supports mental health. You can hit it through short walks, movement breaks, or walk and talk on phone calls. It's achievable for people in every season of life. The benefits start with small increases, even going from 2,000 to 4,000 steps. And remember, walking is free, simple, and available to almost everyone. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. 7,000 steps is realistic for most people. It's something you can actually stick with. It's not just for a week or a month, but for years. Now, this is what my free giveaway Walking Works Blueprint is built on. Sustainable progress, not perfection performance. 7,000 steps is a milestone goal, one that feels achievable, even if you're coming off the couch, battling anxiety, or just trying to stay consistent. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So be sure to download this great resource. Just head to walkingforhealthandfitness.com/walkingworksbookgiveaway. Okay. Also, there's a link in the description. Check that out. So again, I'll ask, what's your average step count? Could you add 1,000 steps today? Share that with me in the comments. And check out the next podcast episode where I'll discuss a recent study that came from Japan about a powerful walking workout. This is Frank from Walking for Health and Fitness. Walk on.
So thanks for walking with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you would like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little walking inspiration. Every follow and share helps me reach more people who want to get healthier one step at a time. And remember, keep walking strong, and I'll see you in the next episode.